And Outside the Box Reviews, our look at figures based on Universal horror movies continues. And today we're looking at the Mezco Blockbuster exclusive Wolfman figure. And yeah, this is a bit of a blast from the past here, but I wanted to switch it up because I do math real well, and apparently I planned out all these videos this week, and unlike Gremlins week, I was like, I have enough figures, I could do a video a day, have a review every single day, get a bunch of figures done, and I'm sitting here and realizing that I do not have a video for today. It's my one day that I have a gap. I have 2 more figures to go to round out the week, but did not have a Thursday video. And I was going to go back, I was looking at wave 1, trying to see what I haven't reviewed yet of the figures I have, and I decided, you know what, forget it. Let's do something different and look at a Universal horror figure from a different company and a different era. Both the figure itself is from a different era, and the creature here is from a different era. This is the remake, the Benicio del Toro Wolfman as opposed to Lon Chaney Jr. And as I mentioned earlier, this was a Blockbuster exclusive. The regular version was not bloody and had a closed mouth. So let's take a closer look at the Wolfman here. Now, Wolfie comes with an absolutely spectacular cane. Very, very cool looking. Lots of great detail on the silver wolf's head here. It just looks phenomenal. The handle is wood, and we know that because it's flat brown. It looks like there's a little paint detail on it, but not much, and the silver tipped bottom. It's a great accessory, and I really like it, but it meets one of my biggest pet peeves with an accessory with figures. It's not a diorama piece, but the character can't and wouldn't hold this. As the Wolfman, he would never have this cane. So I put it off to the side. I actually keep it more with the Universal Select version, kind of just have it on his display base, but it's a little annoying. I can forgive it for being so well sculpted and so cool looking, but a little annoying there. As for the Wolfman himself, he's pretty vicious looking. I'm really glad I have the Blockbuster version with the open mouth. It looks really cool. The blood's actually a really great color. It's bright red enough to look fresh and gross, but it's not overly red like I've seen some figures do. The sculpt's pretty nice. I never really knew how to feel about this Wolfman makeup. It's enough like the old Lon Chaney Jr. version of Lawrence Talbot that I like it in some ways, but it's also a little too overdone, a little too cartoony looking almost to me. It's something you'd see on like some Saturday morning cartoons. I could just see it like the Wolfman's Adventures or some crap like that. Maybe more back in the 90s than it would have been now, but I could just see this having its own Saturday morning cartoon. But it's cool enough looking. It's very accurate to the film. He's got his pointy wolf ears. The profile's really great on it. Just super vicious looking. Some good shading in the hair. Then we come down to his Han Solo outfit here, and yeah, it's pretty much what I think of every time I see it. It's that white shirt with the vest. I'm pretty sure Han Solo wore this. I forget which movie it was, but very similar outfit. I mean, it's well done enough. The shirt probably doesn't have enough paint detail on it. It's covered in blood, so it's got that down. It's a lot of blood. It's got it all through his chest hair up here and just splattered everywhere. It's kind of cool because if you line everything up, it really does look like he bit somebody and it dribbled down his chin onto his chest, and then this is just craziness. But it's missing blood in some places where it seems like it should have it. It didn't spray quite as well as it should have. And the shirt is just very, very, not even white. It's an off-white. It looks a little white on camera, but it's an off-white, but there's no real detail in the paint on it. Very, very flat. This vest is a soft rubber. It is removable if you really want it to be. It's got some good detail on the back here with some cuts and rips. Same here on the arms. You can see a couple of spots where the hair is sticking through. Bloody, bloody sleeves opened up, and then some really crazy wolf hands. This one's pretty much flat, like a slashing hand. Really cool looking. And this one's a little more curved. But as I said before, really couldn't hold that cane. Come down here to the pants. The pants do have some better weathering. A lot of browns dry brushed on there. Give it a good look. Some more ripped parts where tufts of hair are sticking out. He's got his back bent wolf legs and his big wolf feet. I kind of would have liked to see a little bit of the blood splattered down here as well, not just limiting it to the upper body, but just a little spots. Not this much, but just, a little bit, just kind of splattered on here. I think it would have elevated the overall look. For articulation, he has a ball joint at the neck, which is decent. It goes up and down pretty well, side to side, tilt. It's very hindered by both the collar and the way his hair is, but it still works pretty well. He has a pin socket shoulder to go really far up, of course do 360. He has a cut joint just above the elbow here, so it's that really old school Mezco swivel. You don't get much of it. And of course with this paint on here, the blood, it really looks weird. You turn it and then you're breaking up the way it looks, and it looks very strange. So that's definitely a disappointment to me. It's not cool. It's Mezco. It's from a different era of toy making. I could almost kind of accept the fact they weren't going to give us real good elbows, but I think an actual hinge joint in here where you could have bent it in and out as opposed to just having a swivel at the elbow that doesn't work too well would have been a lot cooler. Of course, some swivel at the wrist. Have a ball joint at the waist so you could turn side to side. He's hindered by his shirt hitting his legs. Forward and back, not too much, but a little bit. So not a whole lot of posability there. Up at the top of the legs, there's a cut joint. So these legs are coming off, so he's permanently in this crouching position, but it will swivel a little bit. But there's no knee joint or anything in here, so you're pretty much stuck. And then you could swivel at the top of the back bent foot. So it's a really high up joint. So to really make him pose any different way with his feet, it's not going to happen. It reminds me a lot of the Cinema Fear Wave 1, where we had leg articulation, but it was pretty much useless because of how the figures were sculpted. So overall, he's an okay figure. He's nothing spectacular. It's nothing I would recommend you go hunt down right now. The question is whether I recommend him or not. There's nothing wrong here. He just is nothing special either. The movie is highly forgettable, and I think that's the biggest reason why I'm going to err on the side of very, very slightly not recommend. Because I saw this movie in theaters opening weekend, and I enjoyed it, but it took me years. It was earlier this year, I think, that I finally went back to it for a second time, and watching it at home, I just couldn't engage with it. Being trapped in a theater and having nothing better to do than watch the movie, I was able to go along for the ride with it, but on home video, when I could do other things, I did other things. So just because it's not an iconic Wolfman, because the figure is just meh, it's gonna sit just slightly on the verge of not recommend. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little departure from the Universal Select figures, but coming back with 2 more reviews on the newest Universal Select figures to be hitting the market. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you check out Outside the Box Reviews on Facebook. There'll be a link below. Also check out Outside the Box Reviews on Instagram. Username Outside the Box Reviews. And until next time, this has been their Outside the Box Reviews. And stay tuned as our month-long look at horror figures continues.